Good morning and welcome to Morning Coach Today. I am so glad you're with us. As you know, my name is JB and we are here to rock and roll this July 12, 2021. Ready to take it on. Episode number 4294. This is the place to get the energy to start your day, get the coaching that you need to really go after it and make life amazing. That's what we do every single day. And I'm excited we got a new week planned for you, and it is going to be a great week. We are going to be talking about keeping an open mind to new ways, and I've got some great ones. In fact, Greg brought me the reverse frog Friday. I'll talk about that in a minute. You're going to love that one. It's different. It made me have to have an open mind, but it's all good, right? Because we're looking for new ways to do things, and that's what the community is about here. We're going to talk about that today. Tomorrow, our book study, Rocket Fuel, right? Getting into those first part of it, those first 4 chapters, understanding that visionary, what part the integrator had, and understanding that even if you're not in business, it's another book that can really help you as we do our book studies here at Morning Coach once a month. On Wednesday, Personal Evolution, The Path to Peace. This is a deep day. We're really going to go into your evolution and why it's so important that you're involved in a program like this and how it is helping your evolution. Thursday, of course, I answer your questions, Ask the JB. Friday, we've got expanding your consciousness to be more. That's a deep one. We're going to be talking about prosperity and abundance and really expanding your consciousness to help you manifest more. On Saturday, our System Saturday, Wisdom versus Experience. If you have any children that are out there looking for jobs and they're telling them they don't have experience, well, I've got the answer for you. Tune in Saturday. You're going to love that. And then on Sunday, we got Spiritual Sunday. We're going to talk about awakening spirit. But today, we're getting into keeping an open mind in new ways. Let's get into this and talk about some new ways of doing things and really have some fun.
Thank you for listening to the Free Morning Coach, CoachCast. Today's sponsor is the MorningCoach.com Productivity Belt System. With everything happening in our busy world, it's hard to stay on top of things and get anything done. This is where Morning Coach comes in. We can help you find the best productivity tools for your lifestyle and goals. You'll also be able to take a quick assessment so we know what your thought process is so we can identify the best system for you. All you have to do is stop by MorningCoach.com and you will find the free thinking assessment, as well as many other tools and resources to help you. Finally, you've found the right system and coaching for you. We will see you over at morningcoach.com, where dreams become a reality. Now, back to the show.
Okay, so one of the 4 realizations that I talked about in my book called Get Out of Neutral, the first book that I wrote, was one of the realizations was in life. There are 4 realizations when you're doing study. And the one that I had was keep an open mind and really understand this idea of an open mind to new ways to evolve and to do things. You see, as we age, our neural pathways start to fuse. And if you've ever heard of stuck in a rut, this is what happens. What happens is, as you get older, the neural pathways start to go together. They actually form together. They actually come together, and you start to think a particular way. So when something comes to you, you are closed off to it. You've seen this with older people, I'm sure, that you've talked to, and they are just not open to any new ways of thinking because their neural pathways have fused, and that is the way they think. So, and the best way that I've ever heard this explained, and I'll break it down, is like a ski slope. If you think about somebody going onto a ski slope and there's that fresh powder and you're getting ready to go down, it's totally fresh powder. And then you go down, there's a little rut that's created. And as you come up and go down that same spot again, it gets deeper, and then it gets deeper, and it gets deeper, and it creates a rut, right? So then by the time you're going down like the 50th time, there's no way you can go any other way. You are in a rut, and you're stuck in that rut, and you're going to go down it. And that ski slope is what happens with our minds when our neural pathways fuse. And what we want to do is we want to create some new ski slopes because we want to be able to look at new ways of doing things and be able to have an open mind. We need to challenge yourself. One of the things I've always said is I appreciate people that challenge the ways that I think. And I mentioned this on the last couple of days of CoachCast that, you can come to me and challenge me and I'm open to that. But if you get emotional and just run away, that is not a challenge. That's not going to get me to open my mind and to think about what you're asking me to discuss. If you come with some great ideas, I will be open to them. So Greg Gant, for example, I mentioned this at the intro, sent me an email. And Greg's in our IC. Greg's awesome. He's been with us a long time, and he's in our inner circle. And Greg was discussing something that he did. And what he did is he had a big thing he needed to do, and it got pushed out because of an appointment. So his frog that he was going to do got pushed out. So then he was wondering, well, gosh, I need to do this first, but he just didn't have the energy. And so what he did is he just started getting to work. And he started getting things done. And he finished 10 things on his list and got to his frog and got it done. But he got it done at the end of the day by creating momentum, by getting some smaller tasks done. So if you've listened to the show for any amount of time and listened to the coaching that we do, a lot of times we'll use Mark Twain's Eat the Frog. Mark Twain says if you have to eat 2 frogs, eat them first thing in the morning so you get them over with. And Brian Tracy wrote a big book called Eat the Frog. And basically, the whole concept is to take the most difficult thing that you need to do and get it done first thing in the morning. Well, here's Greg, listens to us, but was open enough to do something different. And not only doing it differently, but giving it a name, adding kind of a game to it, and creating the reverse frog, where he created momentum to eat the frog later in the day and still get it done. So it was the idea of creating momentum until you get to the end of the day where now you're going to get it done. It is the opposite of what we're talking about with Eat the Frog. But is it a bad thing? No, that's the thing. You're open to new ways. A lot of people say, well, no, the coaching says do it first thing in the morning. But Greg is open enough to challenge himself to try something new. And that's the key. He went on a new way to do it. And you challenge yourself. And that was the reverse frog story, is really Greg taking this Friday and saying, I'm going to do it different than what I've normally done out of necessity, but actually turning it into a game and now actually creating a title called Reverse Frog. And when you start to do that with productivity, this is why I love what Greg did. You start giving things names. Those are little things that can make a big difference, like wearing a rubber band and somebody comes to you and says, well, why do you wear a rubber band? Well, I'm trying to stay positive. And all of a sudden, just by you bringing that attention, you're becoming more positive. By Greg having the awareness to know that the frog is not going to be eating, he's got to come up with some new way to do it. He's going to create a new system that he's going to use called the reverse frog. So maybe one day he's going to eat the frog in the morning, but then a day that he's got stuff going on, he's going to do the reverse frog. So all of a sudden, we have a new productive way to do things. And that is what you do when you keep an open mind to allow new things to come into your life. One of the things that happens as you do things like Greg did is it challenges your brain. And one of the things you'll hear as we get into late in life situations with people, it is about getting yourself, keeping your mind fresh and keeping your mind organized so that you can handle things later in life. A lot of people that don't work their mind all of a sudden start to lose it, right? And it's just like anything else, it atrophies. I've said there's a couple things. There's atrophy and apathy, 2 things that I can't stand. Atrophy is when you don't use a muscle in the body and it doesn't work. And apathy is you just stop caring. 2 A's, right? And those are difficult things to do. And so if you don't use your mind, what happens is it atrophies. It just doesn't work as well. So when you create new neural pathways and you think differently and you challenge yourself, you're jumping on new ski slopes. And as you jump on new ski slopes, what happens is you are working your mind. It's like working the muscle of your mind, and you challenge yourself in order to do that, which is awesome stuff to do. And you can challenge yourself with new ways. I told you that I'm on Facebook, I posted that I am reading the book of the Maslan Book of the Fallen. And I mentioned that because it's a 10-book series, over 3 million words, over 11,000 pages of reading. And Dawn, who's in our coaching program, sent me a message on Facebook. I got the book. I hope it's easy to follow, and it's one of the most difficult books because what it does is it introduces new characters. I mean, hundreds at a time. There's massive wars going on. This is an epic fantasy that's kind of like Game of Thrones, but even deeper. There's 5 million years of history in these 10 series of books and 3 million words. And just to put it in perspective, I write books to 60,000 words. That's a good sized book. That's a standard book. 3 million words. Just think about that. So Dawn took it on. She's challenging her mind. Maybe it's not the normal reading that she does, but she sent it back. I'm ready. Let's do this thing. And she's going to try to read with us the Mazatlan Book of the Fallen. And a lot of people, when they read this series, they got to read it 2 or 3 times. One of the authors wanted to be an archaeologist. So it's just this really deep, intense fantasy series. And I read horror and fantasy for fiction at night. And I'm loving it so far, but it's very deep. And I love the fact that Dawn has an open mind, is going to take it on and challenge. She's got the first book, Gardens of the Moon, and she's going to give this a shot. And I guarantee it's going to be tough. But that's what it's about, expanding your mind, finding new things, which I'm going to talk about on Wednesday, which is going to allow you to have more peace and joy and happiness in your life. Because as we discussed last week, we don't know what we like until we try things. And she may hate this, but she may fall in love with the deep and rich character development, and she may love it. But she won't know unless she takes on the challenge of reading that first book, which is gigantic, and then see if she's going to continue through the next 9 of those books. So it's awesome to see people like Greg and Dawn taking challenges on. We're getting ready to do one now. As you know, technology's been a big, big issue for us. And over the past, 12 years, I've gone through many sites trying to make things work, many different systems, and we went to Kajabi. And Kajabi's allowed us to build our belt systems. It's allowing us to build ILD. It's allowing us to put a community together. It's allowing us a payment gateway so we can manage memberships and everything. It has been a great system for us. And I mentioned on Saturday that they just announced podcast. And it's awesome. I'm so excited because now we can put the podcast up there and we can do the Coach Cast, which is our paid coaching system, which I'm going to be evolving and more on that later. And that's going to allow us to bring that in there. I've got to manually upload a lot of things, but I'm okay with that. But it's a new way of thinking. But what this does is it allows me to shift resources from Lipsum and Glow into one system. It's a new way. But what's so great and why I'm so excited is this is a system that I've been asking for since I started in 2009, really. 2005 is when I started, but 2009 is really when we went to the membership. I finally have a whole system that I can build around that will work for you, and everything's in one place. So I'm super excited, but I got to keep an open mind because it's a new way of doing things. I got to learn. I've been using Lipsum for years and years and years. But the benefit to you is that everything's in one place. The benefit to me, everything's in one place. And I can focus then, instead of all these systems and putting resources into them, trying to make them all work, I can focus on one system, and then we can enrich the system day in and day out to make it even better for you and really put more resources together in one location. And I can't tell you how I'm excited about it. It's coming at the perfect time as we built Get It Done Now to give you the productivity system. Now we're going to be going into this new area of really focusing in on how we can help you stay motivated, find peace, build better relationships, and just as important, find those residual and passive income ideas, figure out employee issues, come up with ways that we can help you at any level and whatever you're working on. It's going to be the complete program. There's just going to be nothing like that, and I'm super excited to be working with you every day that you want me to work with you, and then have the system all integrated in so you always know where to go and get things that you need, and there's no confusion, and everything is in one place. Like I said, it's a dream come true, but it also is a dream that I have to keep an open mind of because it's a challenge to me. Change is always challenging. And there will be some hiccups along the way, but more than likely it's going to be seamless and it's going to be awesome. And that's what I've been working on all weekend, to move the podcast over so that we have it all integrated into our system, our Coach Cast, and really moving our structured system into more of a specific coaching program based on you. And if you've been doing the Get It Done Now assessments, you know that. That's what I'm finding out. What do you want to do? Where are you at? And how can we bring you the resources in a new way that's going to challenge you in an affordable way that will be the best coaching in the world that can really make a difference in each other's lives. And again, bringing people together, networking, connecting, the great ideas, like I said, of people like Dawn and Greg who are bringing great ideas, and so many more people that are really into our program and understand the depth of it. I'm so excited because the technology has always followed behind me. It's finally catching up. And again, I got to keep my mind open to a new way of doing things that can help you and really connect us even better. So we've got to challenge ourselves. I mean, I'm constantly challenging myself. This week is a huge challenge. I've got to learn a whole new way to be able to put up the Coach Cast for you and get it to you and make sure it works perfect so that we have no issues and it's seamlessly transition. But then you've got one place to go, morningcoach.com. You can grab your feed. We got to change it out, obviously, and then you can put that in your player. But then we're not changing. We really got the system finally in place that's going to allow us to build everything that I've ever dreamed of that's going to take you to the next level and make sure you have the support, the connection, the energy, everything you need to find that success you're looking for. So this week's going to be a big week, and we've got to keep an open mind. I'm going to be bringing you some new ideas, some new thoughts. Tomorrow we're hitting Rocket Fuel, the first couple chapters, understanding some business concepts, right? And it's important, even if you're not in business, understand these concepts. Then Wednesday we're going to get deep, and the rest of the week's going to be pretty deep as we dig into this idea of creating some new ski slopes, creating some new energy, and really living our best life and having some fun during this whole thing. Like I've always said, the reason I put this together is I get it. A lot of people want to be individual. A lot of people want to keep it quiet. But the reason I really put this together is because we want to high five with you. We want to pat you on the back. We want to be there to celebrate your victories. And just as important, we want to be there to pick you up when you're struggling. That's what this whole thing's about for me. About you succeeding, having the support, whether it's hard to find, but knowing that we got your back. We got your back in more ways than you can even imagine. We're going to continue working to evolve our systems to help you evolve to do what you need to do and to really live your best life. So go out there, have a great start of the week. I'm super excited. We're going to keep rocking and rolling, and I'll be back in the morning to get you going. But today, keep an open mind. Remember, we're on the 4 paths of realization, and keep an open mind to new ways. And Greg, thanks. We now got the reverse frog, a new way to do things. Pretty cool. Okay, go have a great one. I love you. I'll be back with you in the morning.